talk about the week's TV news, and we also talk about any updates on the channel. We give our favourite episode of the week at the end, that kind of thing. It's kind of our weekly sort of wrap up of the things it was in sense of TV. So it's actually quite a light week. This is the lightest week of news we have had in at least 3 months.
Ooh, I'm excited.
You know, you always ask me before how many pages of news do we have?
Yeah, and it's usually like 6 to 9 lately.
Yeah, I'd say 6 is about normal, and a few weeks recently we've been hitting like 9 pages of news.
Yeah.
1.5.
Oh, I like this.
Very light, very light. We might ramble into tangents a bit more this one just because there's not actually that much to get through, so I don't feel as like we're wasting as much time.
Yeah, because we never ramble on this video, do we?
Sure, but usually we have to go, right, let's stop rambling, get back to the next news item because we got X amount to get through. Here it's a pretty... Some of it's actually really quick stuff as well. As with last week, there was like 50 casting stories that I ignored because it was all shows we'd already talked about. There was no like necessarily any major names that were worth mentioning.
Have you got any of the casting news in there?
Oh, I've got a couple of casting items.
Because I can think of at least one off the top of my head. Just checking.
There's a couple that I think are relevant for various reasons, but that said, the one you want might not be there. You might bring it up later. But so that's the news for this week. So we're going to get into that. As far as any updates on the channel, I don't think there was anything this week.
No, Peter has an apology to make though.
I think apology's a bit strong.
I don't. Apologise to the viewers. You promised content and it didn't happen.
Alright, I said last week we were going to look at HBO's new mini-series, or limited series, I believe is the more the correct term, Big Little Lies, and we didn't do it. It just wound up not happening. Schedules were very busy, and
I'm annoyed because I watched it and he didn't, and then he was like, well, forget it.
We had other things to do.
No, we didn't. We had enough time. I watched it.
But when it came to, look, we're not getting into this, alright?
I'm just annoyed because I watched it and it was a HBO 50-minute plus thing that I didn't really enjoy that much. Oh, and then it was a waste of time.
Was it not very good?
It wasn't even bad. It was just, I mean, it wasn't very funny. I mean, I was under the impression there was meant to be comedy elements.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I heard that wrong, but I thought that's what it was. And it's kind of this murder mystery, and
really,
instead of yeah, exactly.
I never got that from the trailer.
Oh no, trust me, it is. But instead of like hiding who the killer is, on top of that, it hides who's dead.
How do you have a murder mystery with no body?
It's all like interviews and stuff, and talking about like what
right,
happened.
Okay,
I see. And it's like, and it was building. It felt like the end of the episode they're going to go, okay, and this is who's dead, because it's one of like 3 people most likely. You would think with the way they present it.
You would think at the end of the episode they would reveal either who the killer is or who was killed as the hook.
Well, yeah, that was the thing, and they come out and do like this big press conference, and they're like, right, okay, we think we've already talked to the killer in the interviews, and that's it. Don't tell us who it was, like who's dead. I was annoyed because it's like, okay, so now you're not going to tell us till the end of the season, and that's worse.
First of all, this show sounds very different from what I saw in the trailer. I saw what looked like...
It's a lot of suburban mums.
Yeah, I seen suburban mums, and like one of them wants an affair or something like that. That's what it looked like in the trailer.
I'm not entirely sure on the affair. I don't recall that.
It was something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. And what
There's
you're
a lot
telling me
of
is...
mum rivalries, basically.
Right, okay. And what you're telling me sounds completely this whole other thing. I was like, surely they'd have made it clear there was a murder mystery element. Maybe I'm just forgetting. It didn't stick out. I don't know. But, yeah. But ultimately, it was kind of like, well, it feels like the ship sailed, and it's... Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we will make a point of going back and doing stuff if it feels relevant to our interest, relevant to the audience's interest. Because we have a typical... Not one type of thing we do, but we have, 2 or 3 general specific genres or whatever we typically cover. And when the ship sailed in this one, I was like, well, I can see it vaguely in the distance, but that's not worth jumping in the water to get back.
After I bothered watching it.
You tested the waters. You took one for the team, and I said, thanks, Connor. Onwards to better land.
This opening of the news video has become our review for Big Little Lies, hasn't it?
Kinda. But like I said, there's not a lot of news this week, so that's okay. But let's get into some news. we have two, not very in-depth things, two very quick things, but two very important things. We have two premiere dates for April, and they're both major shows. One's returning, one is a premiere, as in like a new show. I said premiere already, I just wanted to specify what I meant by that. So, American Gods, which is based on the Neil Gaiman book, Brian Fuller's involved, on Starz. It's going to premiere on Sunday, April 30th. It's going to be 8 episodes long, the first season, so that's coming then. And also coming in April is Fargo Season 3, which is launching on April 19th, which is Wednesday, which is what the past seasons were. At least Season 2. I never watched Season 1 as it aired, but Season 2 was on a Wednesday.
I need to catch up and watch Season 1 in general.
But you've seen Season 2.
I have seen Season 2.
I'm just making it clear for the audience. But yeah, you've seen Season 2. But because it was an anthology, you jumped into Season 2, but you want to go back and be caught up.
Just in case there's any connective little bits and bobs.
Yeah, there probably will be, because Season 3's a few years after.
Season 1.
Season 1, yeah. So I imagine there might be... I think there's more chances of little connections in this one than there was in Season 2.
No, I agree. Which is why I felt comfortable jumping into 2, because it was like, okay, this is earlier.
Yeah. So... those are coming in April, which is quite cool, because I actually think April's looking mighty fine now, because not only do we have these two, we're getting Better Call Saul Season 3 starting in April, we're also getting Doctor Who back in April. April's starting to look quite meaty. Oh, now Zombie's back as well in April. April's looking quite meaty.
Aye, and then you roll into May, and you got Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks is in May, so it's funny, because last year, the summer was actually pretty good once it got going, and we had Mr. Robot, we had Stranger Things.
Once we got to about like late June, early July.
Night Of was on. Summer was okay once we get into it, but there was the May-June time, after the network stuff ended, before all this cable stuff started, there was a good month and a half where things were very quiet. Whereas
we were very concerned looking ahead. We were like, this is... As soon as we get to April and things start dying off, it was a bit of a concern.
This year, they're giving us all this great stuff. April through June, so...
Aye, we're going to be busy year round, apparently.
Apparently so, but it's a good problem to have. So those are coming in April. That's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. I don't think they've said anywhere, but I am assuming Fargo Season 3 is 10 episodes again, like the first two. I have no reason to suspect otherwise.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume anything different.
Just in case you're new to the channel, Connor has chronic hiccups. I'll mention that.
They're very painful today.
Yeah, and sometimes they come and go. Like sometimes you'll go a whole hour-long video without them happening once, and then there's times like now when you want to strangle him because he just won't shut up, the little ginger bastard. Next couple of quick things. Both things we don't actually cover, but we did pilots for, so I thought I'll mention them. Fox has renewed 2 shows. They have renewed Lethal Weapon for Season 2, and they've also renewed The Mick for Season 2.
Nah, can't bloody renew Exorcist and Pitch, can they?
Or Scream Queens. Don't forget Scream Queens.
Oh yeah, that too.
Actually, on that subject, Leah Michele was cast in a pilot this week.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It is okay, because with Scream Queens, they can lose characters without anyone caring, really.
Yeah, it's not like... Do you remember when Hayley Atwell was cast in that thing when Agent Carter hadn't been
renewed
yet?
It was like, oh, I'm pretty... Especially since that was in the same network.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, a couple of renewals. There you go.
Yeah.
The Mick already had its episodes extended, which was weird actually, because it was a mid-season launch, and mid-season shows don't typically get extended just because of when they launch, and by the time they finish, it's already hitting that time. But no, they get bumped up to I think 17 episodes. So
I heard it got better as well, and we were okay on the first episode.
Yeah, it was okay. We had some complaints, but it had some potential. It's probably one of the comedies I might binge. I've got a funny feeling we might do some videos in the summer of just like when we get around to binging certain comedies.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like a season video for some of them. I won't promise it. No guarantees, but I could see he's going to go and say, "Oh, yeah, how was Powerless once we actually seen the whole season? How was
did it improve?
Yeah,
was
how
it
was
worth
Speechless?
watching?
Once we've seen the whole season, that kind of thing. It just kind of depends what we go back and watch. But yeah, there you go. So, alright, so we do have some casting. We have 3 casting news items that I do want to mention, mainly because they are for proper. They're all comic book related. These castings. First one's for the X-Men show. This is the one that's not got a title yet. It's coming to Fox, and the actress. I've heard of her, so I've probably seen her in something. Jamie Chung.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure what from, but I definitely know her.
Yeah, you recognise the name. But the reason why I think it's more notable is because she's going to play a character that's well known.
Yeah,
she's
I believe... Come.
She's going to play Blink.
correct if I'm wrong, was Blink not in one of the more recent films?
I think she was in Days of Future Past. I believe she was in the future
The opening,
segments.
I kind of remember
Yeah.
in the opening bit.
Yeah, she was like teleporting people. That's what she can do. She can.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting that the given that it's meant to be the same universe.
yeah, but they've already. I mean, there was several characters in the movies they recast later on. So
They have. I mean, that's been going back since. I mean, the original three.
yeah, I mean,
They were doing that.
they had Kitty Pryde in the second one, and then oh wait a minute, now we've got Ellen Page as Kitty Pryde in the third one.
Yeah, it's like, hang on, now we actually have to give her a role. Let's get someone else in.
Yeah, that was really short sighted of them actually in retrospect.
It was
Because
It
they
was.
gave like Kitty Pryde like a cameo in the second one, and all she was in the background. She ran through some walls in the background at one point, and there's like,
She
oh
might have even
crap.
been in the first one though.
I can't remember. I remember where she was in the second one. Maybe she was in the first one, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing, like because apparently Jubilee's in one of the first three, and I don't remember Jubilee at all. But she's just in
Is
like,
she?
a small part. Yeah, there's like
Huh.
just there in the background, just like one of the kids at the school. No, nothing major.
Does it count at that point if you can't even tell it's them? At least Kitty Pryde ran through a wall.
Oh sure. I bet if you go back, there'll be one character going, "Hey, Jubilee, come this way." Just in the background, you'll just hear someone shouting, like,
Yeah,
"Damn
probably.
it!" But yeah, so they've got a little description for the character, so I might as well give it to you, even if you're familiar with her. So Chung's character, Blink, real name, oh, I hate that name. I have trouble saying this name. It's not that uncommon, but it's a combination of vowels that I'm not particularly fond of. Clarice. I need to think
Clarice.
about it. Yeah, Clarice.
I don't understand what's so hard about that.
I just it's the right combination of LR and the soft C that just together.
Just not happening for you.
Yeah, two of them are okay. Although R's and L's together can give me some trouble sometimes. But anyway, so real name Clarice Fong. Is described as a sarcastic, lively, and a bit of a tomboy. Her naturally strong exuberance has taken a hit after a sudden and traumatic upheaval of her life. As she adjusts to the new people and places that are suddenly home, she is slowly becoming herself again. So it
Cool.
sounds like because it wasn't the main plot of this that a family
They're on the run.
Yeah, find out their kids are mutant and they go on the run into the
Yeah,
underground
they
mutant
meet
society.
up with what sound to be kind of like the Brotherhood.
Yeah, so I feel like that might be her then, just given that description.
Feels like it could be.
Unless she's just one of the other kids that have just recently joined,
Yeah.
and she like
It's one or the
befriends
other.
the main character. Yeah, could be that.
I feel like it may be that just because I feel like they'd have specified that she was the main one.
If there is a main one, maybe the kid who we see in the first episode who goes in is just kind of like he's
An
our
entryway.
yeah he's our entry in the first episode, but beyond that it's just a ensemble. with,
Which would
like-
be nice for, X-Men being an ensemble.
Yeah, because very few of them actually feel like an ensemble, which is stupid, because that's the whole point of the X-Men is they're an ensemble. But yeah, not that I'm dissing the movies too much, because I am looking forward to Logan soon,
Oh yeah, I think Logan looks excellent.
which we will have a 1.21 gigawatts review up the weekend.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of next week. Yeah, we'll have that.
Oh
up.
man, that snuck up on me.
It did. Yeah. So that's Blink. Is going to be, and I thought that was notable because I think when they first described the show, I wasn't convinced they were going to even use like notable characters. It sounded kind of like they were going to maybe do all these like maybe they'll use like some like D and E listers, but it'll mostly be people you've never heard of.
No one you know.
Yeah. Whereas it's like, oh no, I've heard of Blink. I know who Blink is to an extent.
Yeah.
Cool.
She was in a movie. It's big enough, and like she had a part.
Yeah.
I mean, not a major part, but she had a part.
Sticking with Marvel, Inhumans is happening. Which, and remember, it's going. The first two episodes are going to be like a movie in the IMAX first, and then it's going to be on ABC. And was it 8 episodes? I think it was 8 episodes.
I think it was 8.
It was it was a short order anyway. I think it was 8. But they've cast one of the lead characters, not Black Bolt. We'll not cast him yet. We've cast Black Bolt's younger brother, who is Maximus the Mad.
The villain, I believe.
Yeah, he is the intelligent, charming, and articulate. Aye, sorry, I read that in the way that it's not meant to continue in the sentence. Anyway, yeah, so he's intelligent, charming, and articulate. He comes across as a man of the people, but secretly covets power. Doesn't actually mention what his power is. I have no idea because I've never really read
Couldn't tell you.
stuff. Yeah, I know Black Bolt's power.
Everyone knows Black Bolt's power
And
at this point.
And Medusa, to an extent, I kind of know
Yeah.
her power. I don't know.
That's about it, though. That's as far as my Inhumans knowledge goes.
Yeah.
Outside of the Shield Inhumans.
Also, when they created Maximus the Mad, were they watching Mad Max on TV at the time or something?
Why not?
What's season 2 going to be called? Maximus the Mad, Angry Road?
That'd be fantastic.
Well, that's the thing that's happening, and it's how the hell do you pronounce this name? Iwan?
I think it's just Ivan.
Ivan, okay.
I believe. I
Right,
could be
okay.
wrong.
Alright, okay. Ivan Rowan, then, has been cast. He's been on Game of Thrones, that's where people might know him from.
Yeah, he played. It was Ramsay, right?
It doesn't say.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ramsay Bolton, who is a phenomenal villain on that show, and he is absolutely terrifying.
Oh, so you think we've got a good villain on our hands?
Oh, absolutely. He is fantastic in that role.
Oh, cool. It's funny how Marvel have been doing a much better job on TV of having good villains compared to the movies, because the movies have just been
Yeah, like
shambles.
most of the Netflix ones have been decent. Shield's had some good villains.
Shield's had some good ones. Yeah, Netflix. Yeah,
Not all. I said most.
Kingpin, Purple Man were good. I'm not a big fan of the Hand and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Luke Cage.
The first half.
Yeah, first half of Luke Cage had a
was pretty good.
decent villain, yeah, and then the second half was a bit weird. Bit of a weird turn, but yeah. So hopefully it's
That's a way better batting average than the movies, though.
It is, but you've got Loki's pretty good.
It's like, oh, Loki's back. I like this.
Yeah. Anyway, next up in terms of casting, we have the lead character for Black Lightning has been cast, Cress Williams, who's worked with CW before on Heart of Dixie. So he's playing Jefferson Pierce, who's the teacher who hung up his suit in Secret Identity years ago, but with his daughter hell-bent on being a new superhero and one of his students being recruited by a local gang, he'll be pulled back into the fight as the wanted vigilante and DC legend Black Lightning.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know him, but
I don't either. I believe this is. I'm hearing this is still on track for potentially being the new season at the end of this year.
I think I'd imagine so, because they ordered a pilot.
Yeah.
Same time as everything else ordered pilots, so I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Well, there's this thing with CW comic shows that aren't spin-offs, that they have this reputation for getting delayed.
What was delayed before?
We had Our Man. That's kind of gone by the wayside. A couple of years ago. Do you not remember that?
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, we had that.
Okay. Any of the ones that we actually have, though, were any of them delayed?
No, none of the ones that we have, because they were all spin-off ones, though, aren't they? Like, other than Arrow. Like, they spun out of Arrow
right, sure.
and that. It's every time they've tried to, like, whenever they've tried to do something
Oh,
else.
right, okay. That feels like a different... It feels like a different era, though. Almost.
Well, yeah.
This is Berlanti.
That's true. That kind of ensures it, doesn't it?
It does. I'm curious about this. It's not I'm a DC fan. Black Lightning is hardly a character I know much about, though. I'm curious to learn about it, though, as we watch. Well, assuming it gets picked up to series. They could make the pilot and go, oh no, we don't want to do this anymore. But
it happens.
But hey, so that's keep going. And that takes us on to our last news item. Yep, told you it was quick this week.
Okay, that was even quicker than I expected.
Yeah, we have one kind of new show in development. The screenwriter from Arrival, Eric Heiserer. It's a cool name. Heiserer. He's executive producing a new TV show called The Scrawl. There's no network yet, but he's doing it from the newly formed Penchant Entertainment. So there's a production company, but they don't have a network yet. But they're working on this. It is a 1 hour drama written... This part's a bit more concerning. Written by Heroes Reborn writer Zach Crayley. But it's exploring the aftermath of collective negativity giving birth to an actual monster. And it is loosely inspired by a South Korean movie called Killer Toon.
I like the premise.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, negativity actually forms a real monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is okay.
It's kind of an extension of, whenever you have death personified, it becomes like an act. It stops being just a thing and becomes an actual force.
Or even any stories where a supernatural legend only exists because enough people started to believe in it and it created it.
Yeah.
I think it was an episode of Supernatural that did that, where this only exists because the folklore.
Okay, look. There's so many episodes of Supernatural. There's probably an episode where they've done everything.
Okay, sure, but I specifically remember them going, "Huh, what if this only exists because?" I remember that scene,
Okay.
and they were standing at the car with the car doors open. There's a lot of them standing at the car or in the car in that show, but I remember that conversation taking place there.
It's a great memory you have.
What do you want from me?
I don't know. Can you tell me what episode it was?
No, what? How am I going to remember what episode it was? It was something. There was a house or something. Come on, give me
I just want to see if any of our viewers know enough from your ramblings to inform us of what you're actually on about. Which one?
I'm pretty sure the core thing I said was only done once on the show. At least in the 6.5 seasons that I saw.
Yeah, I guess that's only
once.
like half the show though.
Okay, well, you know it's in the first half. There you go. Narrow down even further.
Okay, all right.
So
I'll allow it.
So suck it, you ginger parasite.
Okay. Did you see the news about Supergirl? I mean, it's not news, but there was a interview with one of the producers. Can't remember which one it was now. They were talking about how the reason Supergirl wasn't properly involved in the crossover, and it was basically because when they moved over from CBS to CW, they didn't schedule it in planning for crossovers because they did it so late. The move was quite a rush move in the end, apparently.
So you're saying that seasons going forward, this shouldn't be as much of an issue?
That's what they said. Basically, they didn't schedule enough Dark Days as it was, so they couldn't. That's why they couldn't get any of the cast, because they struggled just to get Melissa Benoist over with the scheduling. But they said for next season they've actually scheduled more Dark Days than the other shows. So they said next year we should have a proper, true 4-part crossover.
Oh, good. That's cool.
Yeah, just a little tidbit, but I thought
promising.
we're throwing that in.
No, that's nice. Does that mean poor Melissa Benoist was doing extra hours on the weekend, trying to squeeze in these extra appearances?
I think it does, yeah. Because it's not like some of the other characters. You could go, right, well, you just take this week off. We'll just write you out of this episode. But you can't do that with her.
Yeah. For some reason, Thea didn't appear in any of the other shows, but still was missing from 3 episodes of Arrow right after.
Yep. Did she not appear on any of the others?
Oh, sorry, she was in Flash. Sorry, but she was like she disappeared for Legends though. They just had one line of dialogue. Oh, thanks for taking my sister home. Why did she go home? The aliens are still coming.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. It's stupid. Anyway,
it was.
That's all the news this week.
Okay, cool.
That's everything. So what we typically do now is we will pick our favourite episode of TV from the week. And you know what? I feel kind of bad. Because on Tuesday, after I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I said, that's a lock. That is a lock. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s won it this week. And then The Expanse had to come in and give us a phenomenal episode. And now I'm like, I don't know what to pick.
I'm kind of torn as well. It's the same two choices, obviously. There was some other good stuff. Flash had a great episode. Legion was very good. But those two... S.H.I.E.L.D. and
Legion was okay.
Stood out.
I wouldn't...
Legion was good.
Flash was pretty great for episode of Flash. S.H.I.E.L.D. was phenomenal, and Expanse was pretty phenomenal. And then... oh, wait, you said Legion... No, I didn't... Sorry, I thought you were talking about Legends. Yeah, Legion was good.
It's because I've been doing that all week.
yeah, you've been doing that all week. Yeah, no, Legion is definitely number 3 on this ranking.
Yeah, no, I've been doing that all week with Legends because they're both LEG and there is a Legion in Legends and
yeah. Legends was okay. Legion was really good.
Yes,
right. Aye. Okay. I'm going to give it to S.H.I.E.L.D. though. I'm going to give it the slight edge to S.H.I.E.L.D. I think partly because whereas Expanse is typically better and Expanse is very consistent, And because of that, it almost just feels like, yeah, it was really good, but it was just also a typical episode for Expanse almost.
I mean, it was sort of a little above most.
It was, but I mean that as a compliment. I mean that with the utmost
it's
sincerity.
so good that it's only got so much room that it can improve.
Yeah, whereas with S.H.I.E.L.D. it was like, no, this stands above the majority of the series.
Everything, the majority of the show.
Yeah, the majority of the series. And it just, it does. It's like in the top 5 episodes of the entire show. So because of that, because of the excitement I felt after it, I'm going with S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm also going with S.H.I.E.L.D. because The Expanse, it was like, oh, okay, that was a great episode. That was phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to next week and seeing what comes and, you know, what spirals out of the events that happened. Whereas S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see what on earth they do next with this premise.
That's us done. We're finished. That's the news this week.
That was weird.
That was quick. Yeah, I feel like we've not. I feel like this is like halfway through normally. So
I feel like we haven't even really started. I'm waiting for the real news still. I feel like we're still. You know, usually we have all the little bits at the start.
Yeah, and then we have the 10 like new shows they've got in development or they've ordered pilots for or something, and I'm telling you all these descriptions for the next half hour.
That's what I'm waiting for. The real part of the news.
Yeah, that didn't happen this week.
Oh.
Maybe this may actually be a quiet period for a little while because I feel like they'll be quiet until they start ordering series. I mean, sure, we might get renewals and stuff, but those are pretty quick to talk about.
Yeah, we get a couple of months usually now.
Yeah, and then it's once they start actually bringing the pilots to series, that's when we'll talk about them all again, and I'll tell you all the descriptions again.
And updated things that they've done.
Yeah, and then we're pretty busy for the rest of the year, typically. So we're just going by last year, but...
Yeah.
But there you go, that's this week's news. So let us know what you thought of everything we talked about on this week's video. Like and subscribe and all that stuff, it helps us out a lot. We do have one new thing coming next week, actually, in terms of TV reviews. We have the pilot for Taken, the first episode.
I'm going to rewatch the movie and prep.
Are you?
I might. I actually really like the first movie.
That's alright. I don't... It's a fine movie. It's a fine little action movie. I'm not... Although I always laugh my ass off whenever I watched it, though, because his daughter's played by... Oh, I can't remember the actress's name, but she's a character from Lost.
Right.
And she was in Lost, like, 3 or 4 years before Taken. And in Lost, she's, like, in her mid-20s. And then in Taken, she's supposed to be 16. It's meant to be her 16th birthday. And I'm like, you look like you're pushing 30. Shut up.
Not going to argue with that.
So... I mean, it's a dumb action movie. It's fine, but it always stuck out to me when I watched it.
I have a lot of fun with that movie. I've never seen the sequels because I was like, I do not want to I don't want to ruin it with those.
I'm still disappointed the second one wasn't called Taken 2, The Max.
Aye, you would be.
And
what's Taken 4 going to be? Taken
4
for
granted.
Justice.
No, Taken for granted. Because she keeps getting kidnapped.
Aye.
And he keeps taking it for granted.
And he just goes, nah, I'm not coming this time. You're taking me for granted.
No, he's taking her for granted because he keeps letting her be kidnapped.
Oh, see, I think she's taking him for granted. She's like, he'll always come and save me.
It's not her.
No, but she's like, I don't need to take precautions and be careful. He'll just come and save me again. It's no big deal.
So that's on Monday night at